tight.
Hey,
Bottoms up, let's forget.
that's a
Hello.
nice song.
Thanks.
I'm glad I'm not running into another person that's naked. Thank God for that.
Too many people on here that pull that shit.
It's a weird challenge. I want one person because when they tend to see a guy, they'll hang up right away. But I want one of them to stay long enough for me to talk to them because I know deep down they're hurting and they're lonely. Like all that is just them being lonely, and this is the only way they think that they can not feel it.
Well, if you show your neck down, that's typically what gets them to stay because then they can't tell.
Okay? Fair. That's I've never. You know what? That is a solution. Thank you for that. So how are you? How are you? How are you dealing with the whole Corona thing?
Just fucking sucks ass.
I know. I run a dance school, and
I can't go to school. I can't see any of my friends, and my family's toxic. So that's what I've been living with for the past I think I've been quarantined almost 8 weeks.
how are they toxic?
They're verbally abusive and mentally and emotionally manipulative, and everything is everyone else's fault. They're never in the wrong. It's my fault that my mom's always mad. It's my fault that this family is breaking apart. And they're completely against everything I stand for and I love, and it's hard.
So you feel like you're not accepted at home.
I literally can't walk out of my room without having a hat on or a hood on without being called ugly. So I've basically been in my room the whole time.
Oh, sorry. That really does suck.
I mean, it's been going on for almost 15 years. I'm kind of used to it at this point. Just some days are worse than others.
So
Tater, come here. Or don't listen to me. Nothing new.
is there anyone in your life that makes you feel like you belong?
Not really. I have some friends, but they don't ever talk to me unless I text them first. I'm the outcast of our friend group. It's like if there was a two person sidewalk, I'm that friend that walks behind.
I'm getting super emotional right now because, so I don't know if you can see on my shirt, it says belong, and it's actually tattooed on my arm. And so since I was little, I struggled with feeling like I belong and for people to accept me because I mean, I'm still very weird, but very weird, but very love. I bet you're such a loving person. I bet you're so understanding, and I bet you really do a great job of not judging people very
I
quickly.
try my
Like,
hardest.
yeah, I know. I know you got a massive heart there. I
I've
know.
had to fix myself. I've had to fix some things about me over the past couple years because before I realized who I was and who I loved, I was completely against it. I was like, fuck the gays. That's wrong, unnatural because of how I was raised. And in these past couple years, I've had to realize that it's not wrong to love who you love. Hence the fact now I realize. Took me realizing who I was to realize that it's not wrong to be who you are and all that.
Look at you. You're so bright already. Took a lot of self work, though, I know. A lot of
Yeah.
courage, too, to even like stranger like me just to tell and share that with me. So,
Yeah, I haven't had much support throughout, and I've had to go on this. It's been hard because not even people at school are supportive because, of course, me being the smart person I am, went to the most homophobic school in the county, was the smartest decision I could have made. Instead of going to, I don't know, the school that's literally has a pride flag hanging outside of their building. I went to the school that's like, everyone's like, haha, gay is wrong, trans is wrong. And instead, instead of being like, oh, I'm going to go to the school where they literally have a fucking pride flag on their flagpole, no, I'm just going to go to the bad school. Smart decisions. So that's been my whole freshman year of bullying and harassment because I'm very open about who I am because it's the only place I can be open until I wish this quarantine thing was just over. I'd rather be at school where I can at least escape from here than be at home. Because at the rate we're going, I'm going to be home for solid, if this quarantine doesn't lift for summer, I'm going to be home for a solid 7 or 8 months because they're considering pushing the start date of school back into September. You're
Oh
a
my
big white
God.
baby.
Oh, kind of looks like a fox. Is that a weird thing to say? There's some like a corgi and a fox had a special baby, and in my eyes, that's Tater. But what do you see when you see Tater?
She is a German Shepherd Beagle mix.
Okay, big and small. Big and small. Small in stature, big in heart. That's amazing.
Don't you bite me. She's now trying to bite me as I pet her.
Oh.
Honestly, this dog is the only reason I'm still here. Only reason I've kept going is because of her. Because she didn't do anything wrong to lose me. Yep, because my parents got her for me for Christmas about 2 or 3 years ago when I was at one of my lowest points when I was in middle school. Because I went to 3 different middle schools over the span of 3 years because of first half of 6th grade I was in one of the best middle schools I could have gone to. I loved it there. But by the end of first semester, my parents divorced finalized and we had to move. So then I ended up going to a charter school for the rest of 6th grade and all of 7th grade. And it was a really, really bad school. It was like a last chance school. So every kid there behaved so badly because they knew nothing would happen. They wouldn't get expelled. It's their last school they could get into in the whole district. So it was hard because I was severely bullied there, physically, mentally, emotionally. I was beat up, shoved into lockers, the works. I was treated worse than there was one kid treated worse than me, but that was because they were openly gay. And that's one of the reasons I was scared to figure out who I was, because literally the gay kid, along with me, would get just shoved downstairs. We had 3 flights. 3 flights of stairs we'd get shoved down. It was bad. And then 8th grade year, I went to the middle school that I figured myself out in. I love it there. I was so happy that I ended my schooling there instead of the charter school.
That school made it so amazing for you to be able to find yourself and accept yourself.
I finally felt like I had a place that I was happy to go to every day. I felt safe there. So I hadn't felt safe in a place in almost a year and almost 2 years. And walking into that building, even on the first day of school, I automatically felt safer than I had in a long, long time. Like, by the end of the year, there were some issues with some other students that I was having, bullying and fighting and everything. Because I came from a very fight-prone school where, like, fist fights were double 2 times, 3 times a day, every day. So, like, I did get into my fair share of fist fights just because that was my normal. I was used to getting up, being like, okay, which am I going to punch today? And going to school with that mindset. And that happened once. One fist fight happened in 8th grade, and that was the only referral I ever got. She talked crap about my family, and I swung. And she'd bullied me all year, so she deserved it. But no, honestly, that was the one place I felt safe. I was majorly behind compared to the rest of my peers when it came to education and everything. And every single one of those teachers in that school worked their asses off to get me 3 years worth of education in the span of a year so that I could graduate on time with the rest of my class. Because at the beginning of the year, I was told I was going to be held back because I was missing credits from when I transferred. But by the end of the year, I had all of my credits and then some because I had amazing teachers to help me along the way. And they made me feel safe, and that's how I was able to figure everything out. I had amazing friends, and I miss a lot of them because they went to the popular school in our area. I didn't want to go there because I had a lot of kids that were going there that I didn't get along with, and it wouldn't have been safe for me because a lot of kids from my past went there. There are a few kids from my past that did bully me very badly that I go to high school with now from the second middle school. But in the end, all of them, except for one that I haven't even talked to, have all apologized for what they did. So that's why I love my high school too, because every single kid that fucked with me when I was in middle school, ever since I changed and I found out who I was, they've all apologized and said they were sorry for what they did to me. But it's just hard sometimes, especially now that I finally got comfortable in that high school, and then it's like, nope, you get to go stay home. Happy freshman year.
You probably missed yourself when you were telling me. The only fight you had in grade 8 was when someone talked shit about your family. And that just tells me so much more about, with even the circumstance you're in now at home, how much love there is for your family. And
yeah, they might do me wrong a lot, but in the end, nobody fucks with the people that I give a shit about. Like, yeah, I might be planning on never talking to them when I become an adult, because that'll cause a lot of problems. But in the end, it's like, I need my happiness over it. And I left my impression there. I might have only been there for a year, but that the kids in that school know that if they fuck with me, they fuck with my little brother, especially, who's still there. I'm not afraid to walk through those doors and fuck a kid up if I need to. Teachers hated that because I was a very fighty and defensive person, not afraid to cuss a person out.
yeah.
Only way I survived through the second middle school I was in is if I looked someone dead in the eyes and said, "Swing first, bitch." Probably moving from that charter school to that public school was the hardest thing for me, because I got used to being on my phone all day, every day, skipping class, walking out of class as I pleased, cussing people out, cussing teachers out, because that's how we survived. If you got into that school and you were a good kid, it just wasn't possible to survive in that school. And I regret every single moment. I wish I could honestly go back to that. I haven't got the chance to, but I wish I could go back to that middle school and apologize to all of the teachers that I wronged. Because if it wasn't, they're the reason I am the way I am. And they have a lot to do with a couple of those teachers in that school have a lot to do with how I turned out. My science teacher, I wish I could go back and say I'm sorry for always talking back and lashing out at her and the other classmates, even though she treated me amazing. And I wish I could, but I can't, and I hate that. I have no way to go back and say I'm sorry.